All right. Welcome to Stacks of Snacks and Random Chats. We're here with Miss J, and today we're having corn nuts. We've got the variety, we've got ranch, we've got the chili picante barbecue, and the original.
Go to your room and lock the door, 'cause when you try it once, you wanna try it some more. Size doesn't matter, and that's a fact. It might be small, but it's a big impact. Bust a nut, bust a nut. Grab a bag of corn nuts and bust a nut. They're lightly toasted and hard as well. Enjoy yourself, we won't tell. Everybody does it, they like it a lot. You can do it in school, just don't get caught. It takes a few minutes if you don't delay. Take your time, make it last all day. Bust a nut, bust a nut. Grab a bag of corn nuts and bust a nut. They're lightly toasted and hard as well. Enjoy yourself, we won't tell. Corn nuts, an intensely crunchy corn snack, comes in 7 nut-busting flavors. Bust a nut at a convenience store near you.
We're gonna indulge in some of these in our drinks to wash this shit down, and we got Snapple here, you know what I'm saying? I got Mango Madness.
Kiwi meets berry.
Hi, an eligible Snapple fan from Wisconsin writes, I take sudden glances at this girl while I drink bottles of Passion Supreme soda, but I can't find the nerve to talk to her. Can you please help? Kevin?
Hi, I'm Don. I don't know if you're seeing anyone right now, but perhaps you and I could get to be friends.
Dawn, grab him. Snapple, made from the best stuff on earth.
Alright, let's see if they still do the thing. Nope, they don't do the thing.
So what corn nuts do you like?
I like, I guess, the original. I'm an original fan. I mean, once you start, you know.
See, I like doing the chili picante. I like that little kick it tries to give you.
I guess they're all good. I don't know.
So, Valentine's Day is tomorrow.
Oh no!
Yes, you got Valentine's Day parties to go to at school or what?
No, but I do have little ones that need to go to. Now, thanks for reminding me to better get all their stuff together now.
I say you get to go home now and fill out them Valentine's
Right?
Day cards?
No, they're already done.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
All right, ahead of the game.
Yeah,
Fuck
they
yeah.
just gotta pull it out and make sure she takes it to school. But I do have a not Halloween. The second Halloween. Let's make the second Halloween.
Yeah. Fuck Valentine's Day.
Right? I do have a Valentine's though this year. I'm excited.
Well, we're not gonna really talk about Valentine's Day. Today I want to talk about conspiracy theories.
The appeal of conspiracy theories. According to a poll from Fairleigh Dickinson University, over half of American adults believe in at least one conspiracy theory. And though subscribing to conspiracies is more rampant in some personality types and social demographics than others, false narratives of one form or another are held by people across all racial, economic, and political backgrounds. In an age when access to information from legitimate sources are only a click away, why are conspiracy theories still so prevalent? What makes them so appealing? Well, there are quite a few psychological factors that lead to the belief in conspiracy theories. In the game of survival, the human mind has become hardwired to believe in intentional causality. If you hear a rustling noise in the bushes, it's a safer bet to believe that it's a threat rather than presume it's just the wind. Dismissing the noise may lead to danger, but believing that there is a threat means you'll take action to avoid harm, regardless if there's something actually there. So in some ways, we have evolved to err on the side of paranoid belief. Another major factor is human beings' superior pattern processing. As a species, one of our greatest strengths is our ability to find meaningful patterns in the world around us and to make causal inferences. Pattern processing is at the heart of our ability to use language, understand and navigate our environment, and project future outcomes. But identifying patterns is an automatic process of the mind, and therefore can lead to the formulation of false patterns. This is the reason we see faces in inanimate objects, create relationships between events that are really just coincidence, and is a contributing factor to why we believe in conspiracy theories. There is also our tendency towards confirmation bias. Acknowledging that we are wrong about something is a difficult thing for most of us to admit. This is especially true of concepts and ideas that we associate with our worldview. These are ideas that we strongly connect with, and admitting that they are incorrect can feel like we are admitting that there is something wrong with us personally. This leads us to give more weight to evidence that supports what we already believe, and ignore evidence that contradicts those beliefs. There is also our innate tendency to assume that big events have big causes. For instance, the president being killed by a single shooter acting alone feels unbalanced. That is why a covert government conspiracy with multiple shooters feels more plausible, despite the evidence otherwise. Another contributing factor is projection. This is an unconscious impulse to deny negative qualities in ourselves while attributing them to others. For those who actively conspire and lie, they reflexively believe that others are acting similarly, making conspiracies more plausible and widespread. In general, people don't resort to lying unless they feel weak or powerless, which brings us to our last conspiracy generator. All of these factors become more exacerbated at times when we feel powerless or when our lives and the world around us seem out of control. Fear jumpstarts our amygdala and directs our brain to assess the situation, take stock of the patterns around us, and seek out a remedy. We are desperately looking for a way to restore our sense of agency, and we'll convince ourselves we know what is going on, even if that means reassuring ourselves with a narrative that has no basis in fact. That said, not all conspiracy theories are false. Some indeed turn out to be true. That is why it's always important to keep an open mind, weigh all the evidence, determine if the sources are legitimate, and be careful not to be seduced by the lurid appeal of a juicy conspiracy just because it supports something you want to believe.
When I first met you, we would get drunk frequently and discuss how fucked the world is and how you can't trust the government for shit.
Nope. And
So-
why would you want to?
That's a good question. Why would you want to?
Like, why do you if you do?
Oh, yeah.
What makes you go like, I trust them with my life?
What about any of the bullshit they tell you makes you think that they're being honest?
Right?
Let's indulge to an old lie now at this point. 9/11, what do you think about that shit?
Today we've had a national tragedy. Two airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act.
Inside job, of course.
Do you really think it was an
I
inside
do.
job?
I
You don't
do.
think people with box cutters jack these planes?
Well, maybe. But you know, they could have been hired.
If you're
Are
on-
there even people? Were there people even on the plane?
They say there were, but this is my thing. If there were people on the plane, 100 people plus couldn't stop dudes with box cutters. Do they deserve to live? Because at what point does your human instinct kick in and say,
Fight or flight,
I'm
right?
not fucking dying, and this box cutter ain't gonna kill me, you little bitch?
I don't know. You know, like, what if it was a drone, or you know, and then they say people
It
on there,
better
like
be a
you
goddamn
said.
T-800 on there with the box cutter, because only the Terminator is gonna let me die from a motherfucking box cutter. I'm just saying that. Nah.
I don't know.
It just don't make no sense to me.
The 9/11 hijackers are alive and well. That's according to the chief of Japan's Democratic Party, who says 9/11 is a hoax.
Several of these 19 men are still alive.
There's a lot of money in this, you know.
Oh,
And they got to use it to go back to war.
right? Because you know what? We've been at war.
Which we're still at.
Right,
It hasn't ended.
130 years or some shit. Oh, and then people believe it. Why though? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, talk to me how you feel. You know what I mean? And yes, it's a tragic because people really did die.
Yeah.
And they made it come down.
My thing is, if you want to believe it, that's cool. That's okay. But I still think you should question it.
There you go.
Because
I
if
guess.
you really look at the situation, there's a lot of flimsy evidence here that the terrorists did this shit. You know, you got some of the best professionals on the planet saying, nah, man, these planes would not do this to the building the way they fall. You know, and
Ta-da! Now all of a sudden,
and then you had the one that hit Pentagon, and there was zero evidence of a plane.
a big old
whatsoever.
hole.
Just a big hole.
Yeah,
And
missile
it's like,
or
yeah,
something.
they said
Yeah.
it all disintegrated. It's like, then how do you have plane evidence of the other planes?
Right. And all this technology, cameras everywhere, and they don't have nothing. No one has nothing. No one like that shooting in Las Vegas or whatever. Like,
That's
have
a
you
good
seen
one.
Ocean's 11?
You know-
Have you seen that movie? Like, what the? You see all them cameras and how many?
And
like,
they be
what?
and
Oh,
angles
I
everywhere,
know.
And
Like,
this fool's able to walk in and nobody
shuffling and
notices.
just all them big old guns. Let's do this.
My thing is, still, how did he move the window
I know.
by himself?
Because he's He-Man.
You know, it's
She-Ra.
it's
Whatever you want to be called.
It's just
identified
a pure
as.
act of God that he was able to do this. He might be related to Hercules or something.
Right.
You know, I just a lot of it I don't understand.
It's all a bunch of like propaganda and to get us to do whatever they need us to do.
So
You know.
the big thing that everybody knows, the word that all conspiracy theorists know, and people who aren't conspiracy theorists know, the motherfucking Illuminati.
We want to get into the Illuminati because we want to get invited to the coolest parties by subtly communicating hidden symbology. Soon we'll be part of a secret society. Hollywood will open up its doors for us. We'll meet the inner circle of executives. We'll give a guy Rusty in a warm jacuzzi and the guy will put us in a Disney movie. Then they'll play our music on MTV. We'll be given designer clothes for free. And we can drive everywhere DUI because we'll be under the protection of the all-seeing eye. And we'll never have to worry about bills again because the Rockefeller family will be our best friends. Fuck a squirrel and finger a fish and triangle, triangle, eye, pyramid. You can be rich and famous too. I love the establishment. Yay! We want to get into the Illuminati and we want to hang out with Jay-Z and Beyonce. We want to sell our souls in 1 billion records and bow before our reptilian overlords. Then the enlightened few will bring us into the fold where we'll be told secrets of old, like why the CIA killed JFK and why on earth the moon landing was fake. Being Illuminati will be so much fun. We'll learn the truth about Area 51. They'll tell us where flight MH370 is and which politicians like to fuck kids. We'll get 1 million followers on Instagram. We'll have the whole wide world in our hands. The Rothschilds will take us to Bohemian Grove where it's likely that we'll both be murdered and cloned. Let's manipulate the economy. War is good for humanity.
Do you think about this? Is it real?
Yeah.
How does it operate? How do you think it operates?
Well, if you get into the industry, like, I think it goes way back. Like Templars and the churches involved now, the Vatican. I mean, like schools, high, you know, big league corporations, people who have picked certain people throughout. Like, oh, and now you have a son, so guess what? We're gonna groom this guy to go this way because we need. And it's a big old. They're all connected.
I agree that I think it's all connected. I think it's probably more family tied. You know, if your family's in it, you're gonna be in it. You know, that
The whole
skull and
genetics
bones shit,
thing.
You know.
Oh, that too.
Maybe
Skull
not
and
your
bones.
genetics, but you know.
Well, there's a lot of people
'Cause,
out there like, you know.
You know, you had both of the Bush presidents who were in the Skull and Bones, and you know, both of them were crooked motherfuckers. And I'm sure they're doing all kinds of gay shit up in these fucking secret societies and shit. You know, peeing on each other, whatnot.
I think it's all like that, and they are evil and probably bring evil, you know, and whatever you want to believe, the devil or, you know, whatever that way, but it is. And you have to be in the know. And to make any kind of money, you gotta probably suck somebody's dick and take it in the ass, even if you're not gay or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Sacrifice your kids. It's all crazy.
I think shit like this is nuts.
Well, it's true. I mean, I feel like the more nuts it is, the truer it probably is. Because they're that sick. They have that much money that they don't struggle like us poor folk over here working our asses, you know? They can throw money at erotic or whatever the fucking thing they want to. You know, let's chop up this kid.
And we know they're into all this weird shit. We got all this Jeffrey Epstein bullshit popping off. That shit is crazy.
I know. And then what? The Clintons were there. What? 20? It said.
They said the Clintons went there 26 times.
Of course, I'm not a pedophile.
Like,
not me.
You know, and we all thought it was bad that he was getting head from Monica Lewinsky. Now we find out.
Right.
The weird shit was the dick just came out of a little boy's butt.
It's terrible. And you know what? It go.
And these are the leaders of our world, not just the U.S., the world.
Oh, the world.
I'm sure they're into that nasty shit over there too.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. I think we're like a experiment on capitalism, maybe. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. And like with your actors too. I mean, it's in Hollywood. Everybody should already see it. I mean, it's out there blatantly. You know, and I mean, it's not just fads or, you know, they're really doing it right in front of you.
What do you think
blatantly.
is the purpose of them throughout all these years putting homosexual things in music and movies? And it's a lot these days. I feel like every single movie has to have a gay couple in it. And it's like,
I feel too.
I get it, I understand you want to make these guys feel like they're involved, and that's cool. And they are involved in the world, you know. I'm not saying they're not. But I'm just saying you ain't got to put this in front of everything. I mean, when you guys are putting this shit on SpongeBob and shit, don't you think that's a bit much?
I don't even let my kids watch SpongeBob.
Yeah, that shit is too much, man. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I went crazy over this stuff, you know what I mean? Because it is, and it's not just the gays, it's sexuality, period, you know what I mean?
And
like,
I 100% agree. It's like, dude, I don't want my kid to see anybody kissing,
right?
making out.
There you go. Even if it's a man or a woman, like, I like the movies that don't have too much of, you know, all that.
Yeah. Like
anymore. Like when I was younger and my brainwashed still, like, I mean, you know, I watched them all and I was okay with it and this and that, you know, and now I'm like noticing as an adult, and when I woke up freaked out and like, whoa, it's everywhere.
And I understand what you're saying about that kid thing, because when I was a kid, me and my buddies, we would go look for movies that had the most well-known actresses that were getting naked. You know, trying to find...
So porn?
No. You know, just trying to find what tits we could see on the most popular actress.
Oh, I see.
And, you know, which normally involves a sex scene and stuff. But it's that type of shit is how they get you, you know? And, we put these people that you see all the time, but you'll never meet, you know, all this bullshit.
And also the subliminal.
Yeah. And then, you know, I think it really makes these children want to be sexual. And I think
it is. They do.
And I really think that's what they're doing with all this tranny shit. Because they're putting all this shit in cartoon stuff. And
well, you know, if you want to be who you want to be who you want to be, like, but I don't go around and, like, flaunting, like, my sexual whatever. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Not everybody's like that. Like, why does it have to be a thing?
I just think...
Like, you can do whatever you want behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So can I. So why does it have to be, you know, where's the heterosexual marches at and shit? And
real
what,
shit, though.
You know what I mean? Like, yay, I'm hetero.
But you said you can do whatever you want behind closed doors, and so can anybody else. You know, I think that's your right. But I think it's fucked up whenever people are out here dancing and prancing, having these marches with their dicks hanging out and this and that, and they're walking down the street. And I'm like, if that's what it takes for you to be proud, then something is fucking wrong with you.
Right.
Because you gotta wear a fucking strap on walking down the road and shit, and that makes you proud. It's like, dude.
But it's supposed to be okay for kids. Like, really, kids shouldn't be involved in sexual things like it.
Period.
Dude.
Period.
You know?
Man,
and of
woman,
course,
straight, whatever.
They get curious. But it's not like you're like, oh yeah, just go, you know, tell your kid to go masturbate or whatever when they start, you know, no. You're like, dude, this is, you know, like, it's crazy. The world is crazy.
The thing that's really nuts to me these days is,
they're breaking up the family. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, the family structure, I really feel like that's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
You know, a mom, dad, and
kids
all living happily home.
Grandma,
I think that's gone. It's a thing of the fucking past. What do you think about these people who are telling these young kids who 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds going up to their parents and saying, I'm the opposite gender and this and that, and then the parents going forward with these kids getting anti-hormone or hormonal depressant and...
I don't know, because are you really born with it? That's the thing. They don't know if you're really born that way. Yeah. I mean, there's studies and all this and that, but is it really known that, you know, it's something with the gland in your... makes you feel, you know... I don't know. They even turned Bill Nye trying to tell everybody, and isn't when he came back on the show and whatever. And I'm like...
The world is a wonderfully diverse place. And as scientists, we use the scientific method to try and understand that diversity. This is what is happening with the study of human sex and sexuality. Right now, biologists, sociologists, anthropologists, they're all trying to figure this out. And they're finding human sexuality is on a spectrum. And if you're like me, and I know I am, you're still learning about this field of science. I used to think there were just two settings, male and female. But it's actually a lot sexier than that. Check out the smoking hot abacus of sex. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty complicated machine. So I'm going to ask for a little help with that. And who better to talk about sex than two cis male white guys? Derek Muller. Derek, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Bill.
I see you have the
Pointer of sex.
of sex. A version of it. If I'm going too fast for you, let me know. The first aspect of sexuality is, anyone? Sex. Here's what I'm saying. Biologically, not everybody fits into the categories male or female. And by everybody, I mean every living, reproducing thing. Am I right, Clarence? The clownfish. Here he is. No, this is relevant, everybody, because you may not know clownfish can change their sex. There's a variety in chromosomes. And like I said, there are sex chromosome abnormalities in 1 in 400 pregnancies. I mean, that is pretty frequent. But there's also a variety in sex organs, hormones. This whole thing is wild, people. Am I right, Derek?
Absolutely, sir.
Now, the next aspect of this is gender. It works the same way. We used to think of gender and sex as synonymous, but these days we use these two words differently. Sex is biological. Gender is how you identify yourself and your experience. I am biologically male, and I identify myself as a man. Let's say that's me right there. And then this is me identifying myself as a man. So my sex and gender are on the same side of the spectrum. But there are people whose sex and gender are not the same. As a first hypothesis, scientists thought there might be a male brain, shown here, and a female brain. Voila. So perhaps a person could have a male brain in a female body and a female brain in a male body, or the other way around. But there are people who identify as both genders, or neither gender, or a combination of the two. And it turns out you can't identify the gender of a brain just by looking at it. Gender is like sex. It's on a spectrum. Now, I know when you started this up. Now, I know when you started this episode, this probably wasn't what you were expecting. You want to hear Bill Nye talk about sexual intercourse. about coitus. About doing it. We scientists call the Netflix and chill aspect of sexuality attraction. Netflix and chill wouldn't fit. And guess what? It turns out whom you are attracted to is also on a spectrum. Some people are heterosexual or straight. They're attracted to people of the opposite sex. Other people are homosexual or gay. They're attracted to people of the same sex. But there are also bisexual people who are attracted to two or more sexes, and asexual people who aren't attracted to any sex. Pansexual people are attracted to individuals regardless of their sex or gender. There are so many different possibilities. Even the current definitions don't fully capture the whole picture. Science is a process. But wait, there's more. Just one more. Just one more. We call it expression, or how you present yourself to the world. In a lot of places, like the US, many women wear makeup, and men usually don't. Although, I have quite a bit on right now. How about you, Derek?
It's just you, Bill.
Here in the US, makeup is considered feminine as opposed to blue jeans, which used to be masculine, but now everyone wears them. Expression and style are cultural, and they change with time.
And he wouldn't be saying that shit in the 90s, I guarantee fucking it, you know? Fuck no.
Times have changed, and like it's It's a crazy world, and really you gotta worry about your kids a lot about what they learn at school and how, you know.
My thing is, if parents took their children, they come up, these same children, Mom, I want to be a boy. This mom's over here bitching to everybody in the news. Oh, we need to help get my daughter a dick. Okay, if this same parent, if this same child and this same mom, this kid walks up to her mom and says, Mom, I want to be an astronaut. You think this mom's going to make sure this kid becomes an astronaut?
Probably not.
Or is it just going to be fantasy?
It's going to be like, I don't know, math is good, so
you know,
you're going to have to do it yourself.
And that's my thing. It's like, we're so willing these days, all these parents, they're like so cool and down with helping their kids become transitioned, you know? And my thing is, let's let them deal with that when they're adults and their brains are fully developed.
Right.
But right now, let's just help them become decent people.
Exactly.
Know? Become a good person as a kid, and then worry about a freak show later on.
Right.
No fuck.
Don't be a bully.
You know,
learn your manners. Learn,
Yeah, learn some math that mom didn't know.
Right.
And, maybe you find something else other than wanting.
I have no problem, like, if you want to be who you want to be, okay. I think kids at that age don't know.
That's it.
I want to be a princess, you know what I mean? Or a unicorn.
Yeah.
Or, they don't really know. And it is pushed, I think, on parents do push it.
Yeah, it's the responsibility of the parents to say, hey, you're a kid, you don't know.
Let's wait.
Right and wrong, you're just a kid.
Right, and let's wait a little while, and if you still feel this way, then, you know what I mean, we'll talk more about it, like, because it's, in this world of confusion.
Parents want to transition their children at ages of 8, 9, younger, yet they be telling their kids, hey, you can't have sex until you're 18. You can't smoke until you're 21. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you guys... It don't make no sense.
And why would you want your kid to be worried about sex at that age? Anyway. Like, dude, it's already confusing enough as an adult to find a mate. Like, why would you,
Especially when you don't know shit as a kid.
Right? Yeah. I don't get it. And why are they pushing it? That's one thing. And what's really going on behind the scene? And why the division? Because they want to keep us fighting each other so we can,
Yeah.
not give a fuck about your neighbor. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Scared of your neighbor?
And speaking of being scared, I think that's what they're doing around the world with all these school shootings. Because go back to the conspiracy theorists and the Illuminati and shit.
Don't they have a game out there?
What?
The Illuminati game?
Oh, I don't know.
They have cards.
Oh, I'm sure.
That have already come true. It's shit. I don't know.
But to me, it's not out of the range of possibility for the government to contact somebody they know in a local community who's depressed and alone, doesn't really have anybody who gives a fuck about them, and tell them, hey, you do this and we'll take care of your family or do something. And
do you think they really take them to prison? Like, once they leave with the cops back there, are they really in prison? Does anybody really go check on them? And because I think some of those guys who do some crazy shit, they're not even in. They're probably like Cuba or what?
Yeah, they're not in Cuba with Tupac.
Puerto Rico.
Shit.
I know, right?
Up.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always thought that.
Have you seen that movie White Boy Rick?
Uh-uh.
It's a dope movie, and it's based on a true story. The FBI contacts him, and first they try getting the dad to be a snitch, basically. And the dad's like, nah, and they tell this little 15-year-old kid, hey, we'll give you $10,000 a week if you do all this hood shit that the gangsters want you to do, and then you just tell us what they're doing. So he's making bank.
Being a little snitch.
But, he's snitching, no doubt, but he's a young kid,
Yeah.
And, which, that ain't no reason to snitch. Let's get that straight.
Snitches get stitched.
Yeah. But anyway, when it all wraps up, this fool ends up going to prison, and he gets a life sentence and shit. They finally let him out of prison because they said it was wrong of the government to give money and drugs to a 15-year-old kid got him involved in this, taught him how to sell drugs and cook crack and all this, and then whenever they said, all right, you got to stop, he didn't have no way to take care of himself. You know, he was stuck in with these gangsters, you know? And he ends up taking the fall, and his whole plea the whole time was, hey, this is some bullshit, man. You guys gave me everything I had, the guns, the drugs, the cash. And
the CIA.
A lot of rappers talk about him.
Oh,
a lot of people talk about him because it's a fucked up case.
Well, and it's true. Like, do you see this? Do you see what they're doing? I mean, they caught the CIA back in the 80s. What was that when the crackademic was going down? Come on now. You know what I mean? Like, it's... And so if they would do that, and they would do things that have come to be true, like spraying Agent Orange or...
What do you get when you mix 2,4,5-T acid and 2,4-D acid? You get a powerful herbicide that the United States military used during the Vietnam War, and one that's been tied to serious health problems for the people exposed to it. The answer is Agent Orange. Agent Orange was just one of a series of heavy-duty chemicals the U.S. military used in Southeast Asia, called rainbow herbicides. There were also Agents Blue, Pink, Green, Purple, and White, but Orange was the big one. Some 20 million gallons were sprayed on Southeast Asian jungles, fields, and other targets over a 9-year period from 1962 to 1971. It was part of what the U.S. military called Operation Ranch Hand, aiming to defoliate the South Vietnamese countryside. The goal was to rob the Viet Cong of food sources and places to hide. This kind of scorched earth fighting, clearing the land of anything the enemy could use, is an ancient military tactic. But using chemicals to do that was a pretty recent invention. England and the US developed tactical herbicides during World War II, but didn't really use them. Herbicidal warfare was first used by the British in the 1950s in what's now Malaysia. The US saw that and said, that could work for us in Vietnam. Thus, Operation Ranch Hand. But it would come with a price. In addition to those two chemicals I mentioned earlier, Agent Orange also contains something else called TCDD, the most toxic of a class of chemicals called dioxins. Dioxins are dangerous, even in minute amounts. Veterans returning from Vietnam started reporting these health problems in increasing numbers. Cancer, birth defects, miscarriages, and skin diseases, among other issues. Over 2.5 million U.S. soldiers were exposed to Agent Orange during the war. And let's not forget about the Vietnamese. Researchers in Vietnam claim that some 2 million cancers and other diseases, and 500,000 birth defects, were caused in that country by exposure to Agent Orange. And despite some bilateral cleanup efforts, the chemicals continue to pollute the soil there to this day. The fighting in Vietnam may be long over, but its legacy haunts both sides of the conflict, thanks in part to Agent Orange.
You know what I mean? Just crazy shit that they've done and we found to be true. Why wouldn't they do 9/11? You know? Why wouldn't they put this SARS or what's out there, the
coronavirus?
Yeah. And Simpsons knows it all, right?
Right? It's like, you guys must be the luckiest guessers of all
I know, huh? Like,
you know, you gotta love Disney. Gotta fucking love it.
He's a part of it.
He's
a big part of it. Disney's a creep.
Oh, I think Disney was a straight pedophile.
Oh yeah.
Straight pedophile.
Well, he made Disneyland. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
So did Michael Jackson did it, and y'all are tripping. But you're buying things to Disneyland. Let's go to Disneyland.
The things that people accept blindly really worries me.
Me too. Well, maybe not, because when shit really hits the fan, there's gonna be a mass die-off. Because this whole communism thing that everybody's, or socialism, like, yeah, let's do it, and
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody else did it. China, Germany, you know, like Russia. Like, so you see what happened? There was a mass die-off is what happened. And that's what's going to happen.
And that's really, you know, I can picture that happening, especially with this coronavirus shit. You know, it's like...
Well, they want to depopulate us anyways, right?
I like to just...
I don't know.
I don't know.
The Georgia Guidestones, have you ever heard those?
Yeah, I love that, you know.
Behold, the Georgia Guidestones. These granite monoliths mysteriously appeared about 40 years ago. And if you're thinking aliens or a cult or even the 10 Commandments, well, you're not the only one.
Just ask this guy.
And you take pictures of it, you get a blue orb. When you put your head down in there like this and look through it, all of energy comes through that sucker, man.
Things at this southern Stonehenge are about to get totally weird. These granite slabs are on a farm outside of Atlanta, and no one knows exactly what they're doing here.
In future generations, they'll wonder, who put those stones there? Why did they put those stones there?
Hudson Cohn was here from the beginning, 1979. He took these photos as the guidestones went up, 19 feet high, 250,000 pounds, and built to withstand an earthquake. The 4 slabs of granite each have 10 guiding principles of truth and harmony. They're inscribed in English, Russian, Chinese, Arabic. The list of languages goes on. But what does it all mean?
I've had people some and say it was some kind of Satan worship shrine and it ought to be torn down. And I've had others say it was the holiest spot on earth, that the Holy Grail was buried under there. Some people think it's a beacon to UFOs.
Hudson is one of the only people to meet the man who knows the true meaning. His name is R.C. Christian, and he paid for this all to be built. And wouldn't you know it, R.C. Christian is a fake name.
And he was very concerned about the environment.
Do you think he could still be alive?
Probably not. I'd say early to mid-70s then. I'm not saying he couldn't be alive, but he'd be an awful old man.
Even the people who built the Georgia Guidestones say that they don't even know for sure why R.C. Christian wanted this. Not even Wayne Mullinax, who sold 5 acres of his cow pasture to make space for the stones.
My house from here is about 600, maybe 700 feet down there, and we didn't have a problem unless somebody was going to come and sacrifice one of my cows, then I would have had a problem.
Did that happen?
No, it did not, but I did get nervous several times.
Mostly what's happened is a constant flow of tourists to Georgia's granite country. That's what this region is known for.
We do headstones and things of that nature, monuments. We do war memorials and things like that, but this really is one of the largest.
What about a few years ago when that dude was in Georgia and he's walking through the fields and he comes upon those, what was it, 25,000 plastic caskets?
What? Oh, yeah. Those FEMA.
Yeah. Them FEMA.
They throw 3 bodies in one.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
I am in Madison, Georgia, and I wanted to check out the FEMA coffins, and I've taken a lot of pictures, and this is what I've found, and there really are lots and lots of grave coffin liners, but also they would fit. They're pretty big, and they do keep going and going and past that dumpster. So they are real.
They're already prepared for
That's,
it.
you know, that's what it seems like to me. Why else would you need this shit? Like, and the government would probably give you some bullshit. Oh, we're just thinking of the worst possible thing. It's like, are you thinking of the worst possible thing you're about to do to us?
Right.
You know, I can't trust them. I
can't either, and I won't. And you know, like, I know it's not fair, and you have to play the game. We're all money slaves to money.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I get it. You gotta, you know, but it's like, if you're gonna find the loopholes, guys. Start learning to take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Quick question. Is the earth round or is it flat?
I don't know. I actually was doing some research on the flat earth side, and they have some very compelling arguments about, you know, all this with gravity, with, you know, the whole, I don't know, like the curvature and how you would see it. So much math that goes involved.
You know,
all that.
I watched a few documentaries on it, and I thought they had some good points. But the number one thing that stuck with me hard, and this is real shit, I've looked into it deep. The number one thing that stuck with me is, why is there not a single photo of Earth or the moon that is not doctored.
Say that again. Why is
there no photos of the Earth or the Moon that aren't doctored? You know, they've all been through a Photoshop type program.
It's because it's, all made up.
Yeah. It's like, so how...
Could it be?
Could it
like NASA, everybody's all this... Oh, we went to the moon, and
same thing
did we though?
Same thing with pictures
and then
of
we
satellite.
burned all our shit.
It's like, no. And literally, you go back and you look up the things they used to make the first the space shuttle that went to the moon. This motherfucker, you can melt, and they want us to believe this shit went to outer space. Dude, you were mentally retarded to think this. And nowadays, they say you couldn't even get through the belt. Because there's so much damn radiation and shit. And it's like, wait a second, we can't do this now, but we did this in the 60s.
Was there less radiation?
Right? None of it just makes sense. It's like...
But then watching that Bob Lazar, Bob Lazar, he was really talking like, if we do have that, or if they do have that going, which the whole, in the mountain kind of thing, I believe that already.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Underground bases and all that. Yeah, they have all that stuff. When I was younger, we went for a hike and found a door inside of a mountain, and we were like, what the hell? And as soon as we turned around, people were like, hey, you need to get out of here, nah. And I was like, oh, where are we? Sorry, we're just hiking.
Yeah,
we're like 16.
We're trying to find a place to smoke pot.
I know, right?
It's like, fuck.
Cigarettes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we ran out of there. That was nuts. So already, if you fucking find one somewhere, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine I bet we would both be surprised on how many people have stumbled upon such things and disappeared forever.
Right? Right? So what's up with the Bermuda Triangle then?
Yeah, seriously.
How does that work?
I don't know. And then they say they got something almost the exact same over by China called the Dragon's Triangle.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And
the ley lines and stuff in the earth, or what? The magnetism.
Yeah. Fucking wormhole or something.
Right.
Take you to another dimension, you wake up, you just fucking strolling
That'd
down
be crazy.
Who the fuck knows? And that's the scary thing is somebody knows. Somebody knows.
They have to.
Somebody has to.
Well, they
know.
keep us dumbed down for a reason.
Yeah.
The same routine. Get up, go to work. Get up, go to work. Get up, go to work. It's like
we're literally like ants, man.
Yeah. Like it is.
We're no different.
And who's the guy then? Where's the queen at? Or is it the queen? You know what I mean? You got the white pope, the black pope, but these churches but then they want to go one world government, one world religion. Like they've been pushing that forever.
The New World Order.
Oh yeah.
There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. Politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. You know something? They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers, people who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back, so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long, where they tell you what to believe all day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Man. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
And everybody's like, yeah, America.
What do you think about the president?
I'm anti-government all the way around. Obviously, he's there and they voted him in, so what am I going to do? Like, what the fuck? I can't, what am I going to do?
I don't think he's nothing but a puppet anyway.
Right? They're all fucking puppets. All of them. It's all groomed. Everybody, like, oh no, he's not. He's this and that. Well, they're trying to change shit, and it's going to change. And you guys need to see. That's why he's all Twitter, because he's all... It's like idiocracy.
My thing is, bro, how am I ever supposed to take you serious when you were up in WWF wrestling goddamn Vince McMahon and shit? And then you want to say, like, you a fucking serious... Dude, you bang hookers, bro. You're on the same nasty level as I am, you sick fuck. And you think you're the president.
Oh, he is a president, isn't he?
He thinks he is.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
He's
a
the
job.
front man.
It's a job.
There you go. He's the
Every
front
job
man.
has a boss, you know?
Well, and I'm just like, let's start all over. Why not?
I really think that would be the best thing for not just America, but for the world.
And how would you start all over, though?
How would I?
Like...
I don't know. Because I think you're in a hole so bad that you can't get your way out of. Because they've been lying to us for a very long time. I like to think since the beginning of damn time.
Because no one really knows. And that whole predated, they can date things. Yeah, right. Shut up.
Scientists have already come out and said, yeah, that carbon dating, all this fiber, whatever, all this dating, it can be years off. It's like, bro, you ain't very accurate. You're taking a guess as good as my little girl can make, It's like, Jesus.
How old does this feel?
Yeah.
And you're just supposed to believe it. And if you don't believe it, then you're labeled, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, and that's my thing. It's like...
You're loony bin.
I'm not against believing it, but I need you to show me
why
the evidence and the truth.
Yeah.
I can't just blindly follow you. Oh, come in this alley with me. Oh, this dude looks trusting. Just because you asked me to come into the damn alley.
You got candy.
Exactly. You tell your kids don't trust people, yet they want us as adults to just blindly believe all this shit, and it just makes no sense. Los Alamos Labs.
Oh.
It's like 3.5 hours away. This lab is pretty well known worldwide. I remember when I was a kid, there was some shit about this Asian dude trying to steal information and send it to China. Do you remember anything about that? I'll have to look into that. But anyway, what I was getting at is so there's this dude named Philip Schneider. You heard anything about this guy? Did you have a chance to look him up?
I did. The Dulce guy.
Yeah, the Dulce. Yeah. Who claims that out
underground bases.
There's an underground base out there, and then there's aliens.
I think they're experimenting in the underground bases. Why wouldn't they be?
I 100%. We know underground bases are for
They
real.
grow ears and stuff. They're
On
like,
rats.
oh, we can do this, and why? They were probably been experimenting on,
For a minute.
Like forever.
My thing is,
it's crazy.
I've heard many rumors about all these celebrities who are murdered or assassinated and shit, how once you hit a certain prestige for the Illuminati and shit, that you're not really assassinated, they move you into a much, much nicer community underground.
Or a new body.
Oh yeah, new face.
I know, huh?
Like we know they can
AI.
We know
that.
We know they can do a new face because look at the bitch who put her kid in the trunk, Casey Anthony. Everybody in the country knew this bitch killed her kid, put it in her trunk, left it for 2 weeks. Yet somehow she was found not guilty. So everybody in the country hated her so bad, the witness protection gave her a new face and then moved her to Europe because they were still so afraid that if anybody found out in America, they would kill her. Because she killed her kid, bent the body up so it would fit in the shoebox.
Yeah, I remember the story. You know? Yeah, I don't know.
Very violent situation.
I don't know how people do that.
You know, and this was a nobody. Casey Anthony wasn't shit. So
she probably was connected to somebody. Like, what do you mean? I know. Like, all these high-profile cases, like that boy, Trayvon, or whatever, that got killed or something.
That Trayvon?
Yeah. I think he had a heart that needed to go to, what's his name, George, before he died to get that heart transplant, or one of those higher...
You know, and I
George, what's his name?
could see shit like that.
You know what I mean? And the guy, the dad, probably... offered it up, like, here you go, yes, you can take, you know, who knows? They probably are all connected, but it's all crazy. And I hate to say that,
but there's a lot of parents out there who do terrible shit to their kids for no money.
I know.
You think they're not going to turn it down for $100 million or something?
That's awful. You're right.
So I know some dudes who do some fucked up shit for a crack rock, you know? It's fucked up. People are messed up, man.
Definitely, I agree with that. They are messed up. It is a messed up world, for sure. And what's supposed to be normal is turning up like backwards. Like everything's flipping.
I was just telling somebody the other day, I feel like we are walking backward.
You think with all this technology and
I'm talking about intellectually, and everybody wants to be woke,
quote unquote.
Yeah, they're all woke, but I'm sleepy on a lot of this shit still because I just can't back it,
I think they think woke is like a slang, like an outfit, or I look, or it's to be awake though, and to know, like, really research.
Yeah.
If you haven't researched anything, like, don't try to sit there and make an assumption about anything. Really. Say you don't know.
There's no reason for anybody not to look into something even a little bit because everybody's got a phone in their pocket.
Right.
Same Google we were using when we were in school. Same bullshit lies still there. So I just don't know. I was telling somebody the other day that I'm so deep into this shit. Like, sometimes I think about how anti-trusting of the government I really am, and not just ours, but world governments. And I'm pretty deep into it, I think, because I'm one of them people. I don't even think dinosaurs are real. I think this is a made-up shit. It's like where
do you get the bones? Are they real bones that you see?
They taught us in school how to make fake bones.
Did they?
I remember this as a science experiment. And it's like, so I'm sure the government's got a much better process than we do.
3D printing.
Yeah, straight up. 3D printing.
Guys, I never thought about that.
But then think of it like this, too. It's like, who's finding all these bones? One dude finds a bone, the government comes in and they excavate the rest of it, and they're like, oh, man, it's goddamn T-Rex over here. Really, it's a bunch of fucking dead turkeys. They fucking pile into this mute,
What about the giants? The giant bones. Do you believe in the giants?
I think the giants were real.
Oh, yeah.
But dinosaurs, that's just far-fetched for me. It's like, we didn't even, never has anybody talked about this shit until the late 1800s. And then all of a sudden, dinosaurs is the new popping thing. And there's a lot of money in anything new, you know that. And
they just
so it's a new popping thing. So we went all these thousands of years with no evidence of dinosaurs, yet everybody believes this shit. we've got people from hundreds of years ago, way before dinosaurs, talking about flying objects in the sky. Yet still people are like so anti-UFO. Nah, man, I fucking don't believe in that shit. You know, it's just hard for me to get into this anything new.
I don't know about the dinosaur one. Maybe I'd have to do my research.
I would ask you if you've seen a dinosaur, but we've all watched Jurassic Park, you know.
I mean,
I
might have. Like can it be a little one?
It's just like in that movie. That's
Some
how
of those lizards.
That's how real dinosaurs are. They're as fake as that fucking movie.
And
you know?
Supposedly they had feathers instead of
scales and shit. Yeah, they're like more.
But
birds,
then you see
they
some
say.
of those alligators and shit. They get pretty fucking big, man. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's as
aren't
close
they?
to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
it
saying.
gets, you
Are
know?
they still on Earth? Like maybe the dinosaurs didn't really die, and they're just still here, and they just shrunk down like we did, because there was giants, and now we've gotten shorter.
Yeah, the scoliosis did a number to them
Right?
too. Fuck,
Right?
man. But speaking of UFOs, you said you think you might have seen one. Tell me the story. Do you think you've seen one, or do you know you've seen one?
Well, it was something. Some crazy lights, you know, in the sky moving around, and you can't, like, what the hell?
Help but notice
right?
it, yeah.
And what's going on? And doing it for a while and making, like, I swear it was making, like, designs or, like, a little, like, a heart in the sky flying like a, you know what I mean? All crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was just going crazy and fast, you know? And then it disappeared like that.
That's wild, man, because just the way you're telling me that, it reminds me of a movie I seen about the Phoenix Lights.
Oh, I seen that. So those we seen another time when I went camping, and yeah, but supposedly they were
the satellites,
yeah,
Elon Musk.
but whatever.
He's on the team.
Yeah,
he's on the team.
Oh, they all are.
I like Elon Musk, but he's on the team.
Like what's his name? George Carlton or Carlin?
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
He was the realest celebrity there fucking was, man.
He's funny. I like he's funny. So which one of these corn nuts you like better?
Personally, I think the barbecue are probably the best.
Well, I tried them all.
They like it says, it's got that new Boulder barbecue flavor. Boulder for sure. That shit's bomb diggity. I was on tour once, and I'm in we just get to a Super 8 motel. We're in Bismarck, North Dakota. I'll never go back for nothing in my goddamn life. For the simple fact, we're outside of the van gathering our shit up for the night. You know, we're about to go in. We got to be up at 4 or 5 in the morning to get back on the road. Get a little bit of sleep, but we're smoking a blunt before we do this. And it's me and some other dudes, we're in a circle, and one of the numbnuts, he's like, bro, what is that? And we look up, and it looked transparent. You could see straight through it.
It's crazy.
But it had an outline to it, like a shiny outline. You could tell it wasn't the clouds.
Right.
But at first we're like, oh, that's a cloud. Then we came to the conclusion this is not a fucking cloud.
Like maybe.
And it was like something in a movie because the moment all of us came to this unanimous decision that this is something else, its cloaking or whatever disappears and it turns into like a dark silver, not a shiny silver.
Like a matte.
A little darker than that chair.
Okay.
A dark silver, and then lights turn on underneath it. Boom. And this thing starts moving. It's slow as fuck. But while it's moving, it's like shifting. I don't know how to explain it other than it looked like a plate that started shifting like in a Rubik's Cube. It was really weird.
That is crazy.
And then it got really small, and all you heard was a loud poof, and it just disappeared. It was fucking bananas. But there's nobody in my life who can ever tell me that wasn't a UFO.
Right.
I'm not saying it was an alien, because I didn't see the pilot. But it wasn't no goddamn plane or no helicopter.
The government. Dude, I'm telling you. They have their hand in everything. Isn't it documented that something happened with Roswell and they talked to or something happened?
Well,
the government knew about or whatever? I don't know. I can't remember. I hadn't brushed up.
The Roswell thing was something crazy because I could be wrong on the date, but I want to say it was like July 7th, 1949. Anyway, it happens. There's a officer, and he says that it's a flying saucer with an alien in it.
It's 47.
47. That's close.
Yep.
And that there's a flying saucer with an alien being in it. And they get there. This instantly blows up. In a time where we ain't got no internet, no social media, blah, 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 this is going worldwide instantly that there's a flying saucer out in New Mexico. And it comes back in their official report, once it was, finalized, was that it's a weather balloon. How do you become an officer when you can't tell the difference between a balloon and something with a dead human or a dead being in it,
Right.
I like to think that is bullshit right out the gate. Who the fuck can believe that story?
Well, not only that, but if you got people working like that for you and you want us to trust you, you should be able to trust your own people's eyes.
Real shit.
But that's just the story they gave, so that way people would be like, oh, whatever.
Because I'm sure at the time...
There's so many conspiracies out there.
Mm-hmm. And I believe most of them.
Right.
I can't get behind... One thing you said to me once that really stuck with me, and I told hundreds of people this while I was on tour, is, because I'd always get drunk and preach to these people.
Right.
I'm like, bro, let me
good
get
old
on your
days,
phone.
right?
Yeah, they always get all pissed. Leave me alone, bro. And, but anyway, I'd always tell people, look at the movies. The insane dude, the insane guy, using quotes,
right,
is always the one telling the truth.
Right.
The dude that nobody
I'm crazy.
believes. You said that to me one day, and I'm like, that's how conspiracy theorists feel.
Well,
it's like,
that's
bro,
right.
we're trying to enlighten you on some bullshit, and you're over here like, nah, man, I love shopping at the Gap.
Right.
I know you like your outfit stylish. Any other line but the Gap is childish. Everybody working as your personal stylist. You're falling. Once you hear the Gap calling, you can't resist the shopping. Big ballin', not stopping, yes, y'allin'. Jeans popping in every mall in town and city. GAP, gritty, ready to go for us, by us, on the low. G, that's for getting the A for always. P, that's for power and the people that praise backwards. P for popular, A for attitude. G, get it going, Daddy. Gap is on the move. How easy is this? Fall into the Gap.
I want to go every day.
It's fucking bananas.
Yeah, they do, and they want to paint people who believe another theory than what the one that they're given, because really it's like, and then with the evidence that comes out, instead of the bullshit story that they want to give all the time, think about it.
Yeah, I agree. It's fucking, I don't know.
Crazy.
I just hate the fact that, especially nowadays, you can be anything you want, feel any way you like, people can't hurt your feelings, or else everybody's a bad guy. When does the government become the bad guy for all their bullshit?
Right.
Take
them all out. It's the Senate and the House of Representatives, they need to be just as routinely fucking, but then it's just, they're all connected, so why would it even,
Why don't we just do away with the modern government we have now, and we take the people who we trust, in medicine and in our healthcare and all this other shit, the geniuses of the world, and we let them figure out a system instead of the people who like to be in charge. People who don't have no power, but they're to help you, guide you through this crazy shit.
And that would mean everybody would need to get out and vote for somebody who
But
they feel like in their community,
that voting would actually have to matter.
Right? And not some dead people voting.
Yeah, right? Right? I seen a thing,
and actually counted.
Yeah.
A few times.
I know that I'm 100% wrong about the state, but I'm gonna say I seen a thing in New Hampshire that said they passed a law to where electoral votes will be given to whoever wins the popular vote. And I'm like, dude, that's the way it should be. Electoral college is bullshit. Or else we would have had Gore instead of Bush if we did the popular vote.
I mean, technically, it's supposed to, but they're all paid off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? How the hell? I know.
It doesn't matter.
It's like, it's supposed, the way the system works, like the electoral thing, it's supposed to work, but they're all paid off. Like they all, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and give you this land over here if you vote on this bill like this, cause I need that for later on, you know. And then it's all like,
it's like the last election. Once Bernie was out, he's over there. Oh, vote Hillary, blah blah blah.
Eek.
Now he's back in, or trying to. And he's like, fuck Hillary, that criminal.
Right
back to the same shit. It's
and
like,
they all hang out.
Weren't y'all just homies?
I know. They all hang out still. This is how we're going to play it. We're going to make it look like, because you ain't getting nowhere. They're going to have a different female to try one day, you know?
It's
like, I don't know.
It's too much bullshit. And the New World Order shit, that's real, because you got Democrats talking about it, you got Republicans.
They've been talking about
it
since
forever.
The first George Bush. Or even before him.
George Bush, the first one,
can't remember,
did a lot of shit, you know. He openly admitted to having a hand in starting the drug cartel. He, yeah, all this crazy shit.
He was like, oh, it's alright. Slap on the hand.
There's a lot of money in fighting a war that you also had the hand in creating.
And then also have the money in creating the guns. And also have the money in the gas prices that are going to change and the water companies that are going to, you know what I mean? They control everything.
I remember once...
the only way you get away with it is if you grow your own stuff.
Yeah.
Learn to hunt. Learn
but
to light a fire.
But in a lot of places doing that shit's illegal now too.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's bananas.
It is.
One thing I once heard on the news was, if we didn't get any more oil from the Mideast, we would have enough oil to last us 100 years. And I'm thinking, for the love of God, let's stop the war and not steal any more oil from anybody, because hopefully in 100 years we're not needing this bullshit no more. I hope we've advanced.
Right? Well, and why, you know, everybody's like, oh, you have a wind farm, but that still takes oil. Okay, so what's wrong with still having both? Why can't we have both? You know, where does it work better for wind farms? Where do, you know, solar panels, or why can't we have it all? Like, slow down on that shit. Have it all, yeah. You know what I mean? We're supposedly this most intelligent.
Yeah, most intelligent nation, yet we do some of the dumbest shit.
And people, it's the best show, I'm telling you. The best show. Just people watching that shit.
That's a great way to put it. It's a show, because that's how I feel like this whole president thing. Because Donald Trump, like I said, you were out there wrestling in WWF and all this bullshit. You were on The Apprentice. Don't tell me motherfucker, you were in Home Alone too. Don't tell me you ain't an actor. Everything about you is fake as that goddamn top you got on your head, bro.
It's too pale.
Yeah, it should. I need to get.
I mean, whether I like him or not, I can't do nothing about it. Like, there ain't nothing I can do. Everybody thinks voting matters.
But I tell everybody, I wouldn't like the other one either.
Right?
Don't get me wrong. I hate them all. I just think they're criminals.
They're all in cahoots with each other.
They're in the business of making money.
Right. And why?
The whole money thing, speaking of that, I watched that movie Zeitgeist a couple of days ago.
Oh, I've seen that. Let's barter, man.
And yeah, it's wild. It's like, if the idea of money, in order for money to work, you have to have debt, doesn't that instantly tell you something's wrong with the system? I worry often about where the world's going to be in 50 years.
For our kids.
You know, for my kid, yeah, straight up. Because I'm like, dude, I gotta be around in another 50 years, so I'll be dealing with the bullshit too, I hope anyway.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to make it to 80, at least. I'm like, please.
Straight up.
If there is the Most High and who's ever, like, you know, fate or whatever, please let me make it to 80.
Yeah, I want to fucking go Kirk Douglas on the shit, man. 103, you can't
Wow.
Yeah, that fool looked like death himself.
I had a tia who was 104.
Gosh.
And still at 103, 102, cutting her own wood.
For real?
Yeah, they live out in the mountain, they sticks, and my family's from Abiquiu. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like, hardcore out them, the ladies back in the day, you know? Didn't care a shit.
Yeah, and now you see these young women who are bitching and crying over every goddamn thing. And they can't do shit to save them. The
Men are the same.
The worst stereotype for a woman to have The worst one, seriously, is, oh, women don't know how to change their tires. I'm like, you can look at a motherfucking tire and the tire iron and figure this out.
Right.
And if you can't, I'm like, how are you driving?
Anybody
Like,
should learn. Everybody should know how to change a tire.
Straight up, everybody should.
If you're
know
driving a car, that's your duty.
Yeah, that's the
You know what I
responsibility
mean?
of driving a car.
Exactly. You should know how. I mean, at least the tire. At least put the donut on. Like I teach you this summer. I told her, well, we're gonna do this.
Yeah. You need
when
to
you're
know.
gonna be driving, because I know, you know what I mean. I think everybody should, man, female. Hit shim, whatever you want to be called. However you want to do it. Oh, was it? Oh, sorry.
No, I don't know. Shim might be a real word.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just call them all freak show.
I know. I'm sorry. I just talk shit. Do you?
And that's the thing. It's like,
you know?
Anybody who gets mad at dumb comments, it's like, yo, you obviously know it's a dumb comment. You know how ignorant they are. Ignore them. If you really feel like, oh, they're ignorant, they don't get it. Then
So,
just ignore it.
and then not only that, but why did the dumb comment hurt your feelings? Let's talk about that. Like, if obviously you felt somehow, so is it true then? Is that what you're saying? That your feelings are hurt now?
That's my
Like,
thing is, how can something that's not real hurt people's feelings?
Freddy Krueger. My feelings are hurt, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just bananas. Like,
I don't get it. Well, you know, and I get like this whole masculinity toxin, you know, with like, okay, yeah, the toxic shit sucks whether you're a man or a woman. You know what I mean? Men and women both are toxic.
So
the masculinity in the thing, like, that's like leadership. That's the whole, you know, like the guy should, like, there's their roles. You know what I mean? Like, it should be how it should be.
I believe
Not,
that.
you know
There's
what I
roles.
mean? Like,
I believe
then
that.
lead and take care of make the woman feel secure and it's, yeah, you should cook your man a fucking meal, bitch. Get up, make his damn sandwich, suck his fucking dick, dude,
Straight
bitch.
up.
You know what I mean?
Those
Like,
are the things where I don't have to do that. It's like, you know, and I still believe that. This is gonna sound really bad, you know, but whenever I don't think women and men are equal, and I don't think we will ever be equal. Why? Because there's things that we cannot do that women can. Same thing as a man. Ain't no man
I think you're
ever
right.
gonna have a baby.
Right.
We ain't never gonna make a baby. You know, we can build one in a test tube and shit, but we are not birthing one. You know, this is not Junior.
I haven't seen that movie.
You know, but it's very serious. It's
Yeah.
Everybody makes it seem like that's a bad thing when you say we're not equal. It's like, we're not equal, but isn't that the whole thing? Is together you make a complete unit?
One, right?
You know?
You know what I mean? Like, I agree with you, I guess. Because one, when you have one, you know, the other, it should
It's
fit
balance,
like a
it's
puzzle. You know what I
balance.
mean? That's how it should be. But it's distorted now, and this whole, you know, not having a backbone, like, guys, that's the masculinity, you know? Get some balls.
I just think, you know, like, a lot of ancient tribes, at least they all knew what it took to become a man. You know, you achieve certain things before
Right.
a certain age.
Getting piercing.
And then once you're ready to do this,
Some
you're going to
notches.
take some fucking wild ass plant and you're going to trip balls.
Right.
If you survive your trip and you come out stronger, then you're a man.
And if you don't, what do they do to him?
Oh, I'm sure you probably
Slit your
got
throat
killed.
away.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably got killed.
Bye, guy.
Yeah.
So you better become a man.
Yeah.
There ain't no choice.
Yeah, you
There ain't
got
no
choice.
choice.
Real shit though, you know? Like, what was that movie that the Jew hater did?
I don't know.
Freedom! What's his name?
Oh, the Let Me Be Free.
Yeah, what's his fucking
I don't know.
Anyway, he did that movie Apocalypto.
Okay.
Yeah, that type of shit. You
Yeah.
know? Well, you know, in that type of life, you have a quest to become a man.
Right.
If you don't do it, you're probably, like you said, getting your head cut off.
And now it's like everybody's welcome. Like, well, and then everybody should pitch in and do something, bro.
Yeah.
Your legs ain't broken, mine ain't. Like, get off your ass and do something then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, make this work.
You know
what I mean?
You say everybody should do something, and I agree. And you know, and I'm not saying necessarily a job.
Right.
But you
Me
can do
neither.
things around your community
Yes.
to benefit other people. There's
Amen.
things you can do to help
I
people.
agree.
without having a job.
Right. But not everybody volunteers anymore.
No.
You know, I was thinking about and I want to go to a soup kitchen, and then I'm like,
it's like I already work for free now. No, I like people, but not enough to volunteer and not enough to give a bum $1. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I give the guy on the street corner. I gave him some money.
I never give him money. I'll go give him food.
I've bought people food. Like when I see it, like I help the little Girl Scouts or whatever you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like stuff sometimes, help my friends out. They're selling something, I'll buy something from their kid or whatever. Like I try to help like that. I donate my clothes and stuff to where you know what I mean? Like
just throwing them in the trash.
Right.
You're real shit.
Yeah.
You can do small shit like that. That's gonna add up.
Right.
So let's take a second. What do you think of the Snapple drink? You're drinking on kiwi strawberry. How's that bad boy treating you?
I like it.
I'm gonna say, because this Mango Madness is pretty damn good.
I'm already sweet,
but it's alright.
No, this one's good. I usually don't like stuff like this, but this is good. Checking the sugar.
Well, I'm sure it's got a good little dosage of it.
I know. Got wired.
Yeah.
That's right. Team no sleep anyway.
Don't say that. Everybody's gonna be like, she's from San Juan County. I know what's going on.
Yeah, right. No, I just got sober.
Yeah.
The opposite effect.
Straight
I
up,
guess,
though.
well, I looked it up. It is a thing, because when you're drinking, you feel like you sleep better. So then your body's already,
There's
but
times
you're
where
really
I feel like
not.
I can't fall asleep unless I'm a little tipsy.
Right. See what I'm saying? And now
You gotta take that edge off. You go to bed. Fuck, man.
Little nightcap. Yeah.
Straight up. The nightcap.
So that's the killer. I mean, but yeah, you look it up. I guess it's a thing when you stop drinking. So.
How long's it been?
45 days tomorrow.
Jeez Louise.
I'm proud.
That's rough. I know. You should be proud. That's a long time.
I know it is. And I'm all right with it. We'll see. And it's rough. I'm not gonna lie, man. It got rough.
So
what
inspired you to want to quit drinking?
I tried last year.
And you did it for a long time, it seemed like, last year.
117 days last time.
Oh, my God.
Right? I'm going to try for now. And then I just went off the deep end. Like, I don't know what happened. I said, they're back here. I was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going to try again. So we're doing this.
So if you try again and you go off the deep end again,
cheat days.
are you going to
keep not doing it?
Give it up for altogether?
I want to eventually get to where I'm only having drinks like on special occasions, like I was telling you, like when my friends come from out of town, or maybe we go to dinner and have a couple drinks, or
yeah,
not all the time, not every weekend,
and that's
not
gonna be hard. It's because the few times I've went without drinking, that's not the bad thing. Bad thing is, I'm gonna drink one day.
Right. And then
it turns into, oh, fuck. That last week was the
I didn't finish it.
Yeah. So, for me, personally, it just always becomes a thing. Like, it's easier to just not have it in the house at all.
Right.
Because if I have it in the house, I'm going to fucking drink it. That's
I think I still have some in the house.
See, you're stronger than me.
But it's
if it's
something I don't normally drink.
Oh, yeah.
For my friends when they come over.
Yeah. I don't want to seem like an ass.
Well, I fought for it. Like, we've had it because I thought, well, I got to be around it. So I know my people drink. I'm not going to be like, please still invite me over to go play.
See, I couldn't do it. I cannot be around it. If I'm around it.
So I pour them shots. Here. Take mine too. What?
Yeah.
Got them fucked up. We had a good time. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I know. It was fun for me too. Like, you just kind of get used to it after a while.
At least I'm sure you get some good laughs out of your drunk friends.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm good pictures.
Yeah. That's dick. Alright, I think we're going to wrap it up. Alright, do you suggest any corn nuts or Snapple? What flavor of corn nuts do you suggest to these people?
Alright. Snapple, strawberry, kiwi meets strawberry. That's good. Get that.
Yeah, those are the bomb.
Out of all these, I'm gonna say I didn't like the barbecue.
What? The barbecue was kicking, yo.
I like the barbecue. It's between the original and the chili picante.
Hey, you can't go wrong with either one of them, honestly.
Right?
Corn nuts is just a good snack.
Right.
So take your ass out there, get you some, and we'll see you next week.
NASA's next spacecraft, already being built and tested across America, will do those things and more.
This is the spacecraft that's going to take humans to explore the solar system. It's the next big step for NASA in exploration.
Called the Orion Multipurpose Crew Vehicle, or MPCV, this next-generation spacecraft will enable America to explore beyond low Earth orbit.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually.
The kinds of technologies that we're testing out on Space Station are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit. So we have a really robust exploration program at NASA.
Unlike the previous program, we are setting a course with specific and achievable milestones. Early in the next decade, a set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit.